This and more coming up on The Whitney Reynolds Show.
I was diagnosed with stage 4 breast cancer and I was 24 at the time. I have learned to flip my attitude and my perspective to more positive because that's all I have.
I was a homeless female veteran. I went to school, I got a college degree. I'm also a realtor, so I house homeless people now.
I just put out an album called The Waiting Room. That wasn't just like a nice little name. That was like, yo, I feel like I've been in the longest waiting season of my life.
Hello and welcome to The Whitney Reynolds Show. We are so glad you have found us. We are taping with a live audience, and today is about finding light in the battle. Through life's toughest moments, we know you can prevail, and today's stories will be proof of that. Awakening the soul of our stories.
Come for the stories, stay for the heart, where every journey
You might recognize a new look. We are ready to take things to the next level.
you'll see. Whitney's here to share your dream. It's the Whitney Reynolds Show.
You are watching the Whitney Reynolds Show. Be careful.
Your home. Real voices, real lives in every episode. This is the Whitney Reynolds Show.
Welcome, Michaela De Leon. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
You know, we're talking light in the battle, and I love to always be honest with my viewers. I met you on a train.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was my first train ride, I think.
Yeah, it was so fun.
It was. And you know what's incredible, and I just want to remind our viewers at home, our tagline is everybody has a story, and that could be the person in the grocery aisle or on a train
Across
next
the
to you.
aisle.
Yes.
Amtrak, yeah.
Yes, so true. Little did I know that you were battling stage 4 cancer. It was one of those moments that I said, hey, do you need help? And you said, I actually do.
Yeah.
You have been going through so much. Walk our viewers back through your diagnosis.
I was diagnosed with stage 4 breast cancer and I was 24 at the time. But I have learned to flip my attitude and my perspective completely a 180 to more positive because that's all I have.
Right. When you hear stage 4, would you have rather just heard I have breast cancer, or did you want to know how hard I need to beat this?
I wanted to know. I asked for numbers and it bit me in the butt a little bit, but I asked for numbers, I asked for staging. I wanted all the information that I could possibly gather to know how hard I have to beat it.
And you will.
Oh,
but
yeah.
let's talk about what you are doing. When we were on the train, you whispered to me, because you're like, I'm gonna go see my boyfriend. I'm like, oh, that's great. You were like, wait, no, my fiance. Wait, we're getting married in a few weeks. And I'm thinking at this point, I'm like, what's going on? And you leaned a little closer and you said, I found out I have breast cancer and I wanna get married before I lose my hair.
Yeah.
That was one of those moments for me
Yeah.
that I was just like, this girl knows what she wants and she is gonna kick cancer's butt. Walk us back through your wedding day.
So we got married in August.
It's a beautiful wedding. Isn't it beautiful on the screen? Yes.
We got married in August, and it was a week before I started treatment, and that's exactly how I wanted it. I was really struggling with switching my treatment plan from hormone therapy to chemotherapy and radiation and surgery, and it felt like I was just lost. I was so disappointed that for my big wedding, which we were planning for next year, and still are planning.
Yeah, we're gonna do 2.
Oh,
yeah,
we're having 2 weddings.
Yeah, we are. I made my husband remarry me. Like, we did a renewal, but I love the idea of 2 weddings.
I think everyone should.
Yeah, he said no more weddings, Whitney. That's enough. Yeah,
I
know.
will probably want 3.
Okay, there we go. Okay, there we go. 3 weddings. I love that.
So we got married a week before treatment because I was really struggling with the idea that next year in November I might not have my hair at the length that I had it at, or it might not come back as curly as it was, and I will be flat-chested. And that was really hard for me as a 24-year-old girl to comprehend that I'm going to be flat in a wedding dress. That's never how anybody envisions themselves. So I came downstairs, I said to my mom, I will do chemo if I can get married. And she said, well, looks like we're planning a wedding.
Yes. Good for mom. Yeah. I love that. I love that. So walk us back through the treatments you are doing, because you had some good pictures when we were on the train. You were showing me how your body was reacting, which was so positive.
Yes, so I actually started on some hormone therapy, which is like you see the commercials for it, Kisqali, Verzenio, Ibrance. I was on those, and it completely got rid of the lymph node action up here.
Yay.
68% uptake in my subcarinal node in my chest wall, and then the main tumor had shrunk by half already in 3 months.
Wow.
Which was excellent.
That is incredible. And you're gonna keep going.
Yeah, so I've finished 5 rounds out of 8 of chemo.
Oh my goodness.
I have 3 more. I finish in November. And I can't feel the tumor anymore.
Yay, that's wonderful news. Well, I was gonna say, you being bold with your story is so courageous, because it is hard to say, hey, this is who I am on a national scale.
Yeah.
What do you want our viewers and audience to know about your journey?
That your attitude influences so much about your own journey. I see it as I have 2 options. The first option is go in the corner and rock back and forth and think my life is over, my life is over. Or I can find the silver lining and look for something positive in everything. And that's why I got married. I found a silver lining.
You did find a silver lining. Thank you so much for coming on.
When service members come home, the expectation is stability, support, a place to land. But for thousands of veterans, the hardest battle begins after the uniform comes off.
I grew up in a home with all of my older brothers and sisters and my great uncle in the military. And my mom was so proud of them. So she had their portraits on our mantle. And I looked up to them and I said, you know, these are such regal men, protectors. I just want to be part of it. And then I saw that a couple of my brothers, they bought houses, whereas my sisters had student loans. So I said, well, if I go to the military, I could have a house and no student loan.
She enlisted believing service would create security. Instead, when she returned home, housing became her greatest fight.
Some of our fiercest fighters, our most brave citizens that come home from serving or come home or get out and they don't have housing.
Right.
What made you want to solve that issue?
Because I was a homeless female veteran. I would run away and go to the VA because I'm still a veteran. And they would tell me there are no resources. So where do I go? In my car, at a friend's house. My family were telling me, well, you can't stay here. It's too much drama. My friend, we're young. I'm 22, 23, very pretty, and you know, she would say, well, you can't stay here. My boyfriend is coming over. So where do I go? Back to the unsafe house and just hope that it'll be safe for me. I went to school. I got a college degree. And I got a job working for the City of Chicago Department of Revenue, licensing SROs. And so the job afforded me the opportunity to rent an apartment.
When did you decide that you have to be the voice for people in similar situations?
A few years after becoming a realtor. I'm also a realtor, so I house homeless people now, homeless veterans for 22 plus years. But now as a realtor, you know, we have to find solutions to help people move. And we've got a lot of resources in our community that can pay for that. But I learned over the years how to navigate those resources and use those resources to house these veterans.
How many have you placed?
Over 5,000. Everybody can learn how to house a homeless veteran. Everybody can. It's just simple movement. It's connecting the dots. Mr. Wilson was a homeless Coast Guard veteran in a wheelchair, living in a U-Haul facility for 9 months until I got him housed downtown Chicago in a fully furnished condo, 2-bed, 2 full baths, overlooking Navy Pier, the lake. He could see the fireworks. He's been there for 11 years.
More than 5,000 veterans housed, more than 2 decades turning confusion into clarity, and proof that when the system falls short, individuals can still rise.
I'm glad of the hurt and the pain that I go through every day because it's what fuels me to keep going.
For Yvette Jones, housing isn't charity, it's justice. And it's a reminder that when our veterans come home, home should be waiting for them.
I'm a 33-year-old single dad, and my daughter's 22. My daughter is biologically my niece, but she's been legally my daughter for over a decade.
Contemporary Christian artist Jeremy Rosado may stand on big stages today, but the path there did not happen overnight. In fact, it was during his climb to fame where he chose to hit pause, stepping away long enough to listen to his heart.
My sister has just struggled with addiction for a very, very long time. And when I came off the show, I was about to pursue music and go to Nashville, and I was there like about to like make it happen. And I felt that it was time for me to step in and honor the promise that I made to God, that I would make sure that this little baby girl had the life that she deserved and needed, that she could have some kind of stability. And I remember I'm rocking this baby to sleep and she's crying. She finally falls asleep and I'm looking at her and I'm crying at this point because I'm thinking, man, this pain, I never want to see this kid feel this pain ever again in her life. It's incredible to see her now grown and as great as she is because, you know, the cards life dealt to her have not been great. But by the grace of God and His provision, He's made ways for us.
And during that pause, he dealt with those tough cards, and that led to inspiration. The moments turned into lyrics, and those lyrics now helping countless others find hope in their own stories.
I just put out an album called The Waiting Room, and that wasn't just like a nice little name. That was like, yo, I feel like I've been in the longest waiting season of my life. It's okay to be honest about the pain of it, you know what I mean? And like the frustration almost with God, if we're honest, in moments and in seasons where it just doesn't make sense. And so to anybody listening or watching and you feel like you are in that weird place of like this kind of tension of like, I know I've got this dream or I've got this thing I'm supposed to do, but none of it's working out yet. Focus everything you have as if this was the last shot you had at it. I had this man come to my show. He said, I was about to use drugs at that very moment, just like I have the past 20 years of my life. He said that song met me and it stopped me. He said I checked myself into a facility that night and I've been clean for 2 months because of this song. The weight of what these words are carrying, like that's the why.
For more than 4 decades, Kelsey Grammer has given us characters that are sharp, heartfelt, flawed, and brilliant.
Why are you choosing to use your voice, your clout, your power, your everything behind really a show with such a strong message?
Right. It's a good message. It's a message that should be heard. It's a truth that sort of echoes throughout the ages and has a story to tell again and again and again. And when these things happen, we celebrate them.
This was the moment that opened up something in him, a reminder that there are stories preserved through time because they still speak to us now.
The last time I toured the Vatican, I met a padre there, a priest. The most extraordinary thing he did was take us behind the Sistine Chapel, behind
Just a little behind the Sistine Chapel.
And there's a little room back there. I didn't know this, and he said it's called the Room of Tears. And inside that room is a small papal vestment. And whenever the guy is elected, the new guy is elected, he gets up, walks into that room, and they say at that moment is when they always cry. Because what's happened is extraordinary. And suddenly they're carrying the keys. You know, it's an extraordinary thing.
Amazing.
And I've been grateful to him ever since. It was an extraordinary thing. And he said to me one day, he said, you know, I've got this fella, Pierre, this French guy, blah, 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 who's doing a musical about Saint Bernadette. Can I introduce you? Yeah, sure. And then Pierre sent along a video of it, and I'm sitting at breakfast going, hey, Kate, check this out. You know, it's like Saint Bernadette. And The young woman who plays Saint Bernadette is remarkable. And I just thought, this is a performance that people should see.
A story that first met him through friendship now calls him to advocacy.
You said there's this truth. There's this truth that runs through that people need to know. What is that?
It's about witnessing, I guess, the witness of the strength of God, the strength of, you know, this relationship we have with the Creator, and the gifts that He continues to give to us through any number of people and experiences and revelations.
When did that happen for you?
Well, it happened to me all through my childhood, and then of course I lost it when my sister was killed. So I went through a sort of a crisis of faith. But I mean, honestly, I just dismissed faith for a good time in my life when I was a young man. As a result of that, maybe acting sustained me in a lot of ways, because it deals in the same things. It deals with truths.
His characters made us laugh. His performances made us think. Behind it all was a man navigating grief and rebuilding.
Do you have a favorite character you've played?
Well, my favorite role that I ever played was actually Tom Kane, the mayor of Chicago.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, welcome home.
He was a wonderful, because he loved Chicago. He loved it. And, you know, with all its blemishes, with all its faults, the city of big shoulders, and he was a king.
What do you hope in this moment, with this play coming out, that the audience walks away with?
What I hope to find is that they can understand that there really is something beyond all this. Something that actually, as they say, the kingdom of heaven is at hand. It means it's right there. You can always reach and get it.
Sometimes it's the place where everything feels lost, where new dreams begin.
You had a very big high and then you hit a very big low, but then you came out on top.
It started, I was 4 years old. My mother was in an abusive relationship with my father. So she left my father. She literally hit the road with the 5 kids, changed our name, left family, everything. From that point, my mom started working 2 jobs. You know, I was being brought up by the older siblings, a little bit on myself, and had a rough go, you know. As I grew up, my mom got remarried, and my stepdad and myself weren't really getting along. So I was on my own at 15 years old.
At 15.
I dropped out of school, high school, started working some labor jobs, and ended up meeting some of the wrong people. And I started growing cannabis at 25 years old.
You were ahead of the times.
Yeah, exactly. People ask me that question all the time. How do you feel about going to federal prison for something that's completely illegal? I said, listen, I was not just growing cannabis, I was laundering money. There
was a lot encompassed in that.
I got busted in 2010, and they, pretty much took everything we had. I have 3 children, and I was married to my wife, Carol. When I went to federal prison, I was 48.
How long were you sentenced for?
11.8 years.
11.8. And how long did you serve?
I served 4 years.
You served 4.
Thanks to law changes and, I believe, divine intervention. I turned myself in, and they didn't have a bed for me, so I had to go to the hole. If you know what the hole is,
yeah.
They call it the SHU, segregated housing unit. And you don't leave there. There's no windows, there's no nothing.
Right.
It's a little slot where you get your food, and couldn't call home, there was no contact whatsoever. The only thing that was in there was an old beat up Bible on the top bunk. And I said, you know what, I need this more than ever.
Right.
And I just started reading that Bible, and it changed my life.
What made you want to get into writing? Because here you are, like you said, you're doing all these things, but yet you also wanted to become an author?
So what inspired me to write The Keeper was I was also an ice hockey goalie for 27 years. And I started very late in life. So I started playing, and I got to a level where I was skating with ex-pros, and then I started skating with current NHLers from all over the country. I was invited to pre-training camps. I just had this major passion for hockey all of a sudden. And then one day I came home, I was sitting on the couch, and this story just hit me really powerful. And I was like, wow, that would make a really cool screenplay. So I called a friend of mine, Big Mike, and I said, hey, I got this idea for a screenplay. And he said, well, Bob, you need to write a book first. Before you write the screenplay, you have to write a book. And I said, okay. So I Didn't know anything about writing a book, but I took it on and just started. It became as passionate I was about hockey, about writing this novel. I did so much. I got my GED in federal prison. I did multiple exercise programs and classes, and I did, like I said, Bible studies, tons of Bible studies. I was making things to send home to my daughter. I was afraid she was going to forget me. And so I would send her a card every week.
So when you got out, was it more pertinent than ever that you had to get this book?
I had my wife send the book into federal prison and the papers.
With your handwritten? Yeah.
So I started rewriting the whole book in there and added a lot of, there was some spiritual stuff I added in there. My writing got much better.
What do you hope your book does?
Well, I hope it inspires people. I know that, it just came out and I read some of those reviews and it literally touched my heart because of it did inspire some of these people, and it makes you want to. I've had people tell me that they joined a sport that they used to play after reading the book. It makes you want to do a comeback. It makes you inspired to do something, healthy and good,
Do you feel like you've had your comeback?
I do. I feel like I'm a completely different person. I believe that it was God's way of showing me a different path.
Today we've been talking light in the battle, and because you are streaming with us, we are bringing in some bonus content with thought leader Christine Marzullo on today's topic. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Whitney.
You know what I love about people that are streaming with us is they get these extra little nuggets, and you are one that when we think about this topic of hope in the fight, light in the darkness, you formed a whole nonprofit around this.
Yes, I noticed a gap in the grief space after my dad passed away. There wasn't really a hopeful space to remember his life and legacy and his continued love and presence in our life. So I created Together at Peace years later, actually after I did a lot of different, things to kind of bring his spirit into our family and keep his legacy alive. And I ended up creating Together at Peace for the world to be a big bucket of inspiration and how we do it, how you do it, how everyone is finding light in the darkness.
And when you talk about Together at Peace, because you said a couple things that I find brilliant about what you created, is it's not this necessarily like sadness when we have loss. It's taking grief and channeling it and keeping those memories still alive.
Yes, we're kind of a complement to grief therapy. So we're kind of this space that really helps you recognize where love is showing up in your life. And we've been talking this year about something called memory moments. And it's whether you notice or you create the moment, it's letting the love be present in your life. So a simple thing like lighting a candle, for instance, that's something you're going to create for yourself. You're lighting that candle, but you're letting the moment of the flame kind of dance or be still and letting that flame represent the love that's still alive in your life.
In this space, there was a gap in it because I've never heard until you created this hopeful bereavement.
Hope for bereavement care is about how you remember the love in the same way that you're also experiencing the pain. So it's possible to experience both, and you're a new person after you lose a loved one. There's no doubt about it. You're not the same person anymore, so you have to find a new way of living and a new way of existing with this deep wound, but also experiencing joy and love and the courage and hope to move forward.
Well, that's an interesting concept. And because I'm calling you an expert, I'm going to let you go into that a little bit more. You said you can live with both because so often we think we have to be black or white and we can't be in the gray. But you're saying you can still have those wonderful memories, the love, but you can also be sad.
Yeah, I think for me, like I had this deep wound. When my dad passed, I was in an interesting stage of my life. I just had my daughter Bella, and she was only 3 months old. So I was postpartum. I was
postpartum in itself.
Really lost, like the hero of my life. I, physically lost him, and it was just really difficult for me to figure out how to navigate being a new mom. Being a mom, trying to be uplifting and be there for my kids, and then show them how to navigate hope and grief together. And I just found that you have to understand you have a wound and it can open up at different times of your life, but can also heal. And so it's kind of this constant journey that's going up and down as you as you grow, and different losses create different wounds. And I think that's something to acknowledge when you lose a spouse or you lose a parent or you lose a child.
Or even a dog. I remember when I lost Puppy
yeah.
Doolittle, it was so hard on me because I had her in all these different seasons of my life, and she was always there, a constant. And then to lose her 18 years later was horrible. I mean, grief is like that. You named it right when you said it, ebb and flows. But what I love about this, because the seasons do change, you've created a group, though, that says, hey, you're not in this alone.
Yeah, I think feeling lonely is one of the main things people struggle with after they lose a loved one, because grief is so unique. It's like a fingerprint for everybody. It's different. And you feel very lonely in the fact that you can't tell someone exactly how you loved the person, and you can't let them know exactly how you're feeling. It's so complicated to explain, and our community acknowledges that. It's very unique. Everyone's journey is different, but we're together in the fact that we want to celebrate their spirit. We want to feel them present. We want to feel empowered by their love, and that's what's going to give us hope and the courage to share our inspiration with the world.
You know, I heard this today. I was on my run, and it was talking about hope being an anchor in our life. And if we think about the anchor concept, and, you know, if we're on a boat, if we're not anchored to something, we will drift slowly. And so I love being anchored in hope and that being at the base of what you guys are doing. Let's talk about the Comfort Club and being together in this hope.
Yeah, it's the Comfort Club. So when you talk about hope and you talk about an anchor, for me personally, faith is the biggest anchor for me. And faith to me is
Was it always that way?
I went to, I grew up going to Catholic school. I always had like a faith in God, and I like to say that God is love. So I kind of want to unite everyone in their faith in a way. If you replace God or Jesus with the word love, it makes more sense to people, and it kind of connects us on a deeper level with that golden thread of love. But I think believing in the love you can't see is the most powerful anchor of hope that you can hold on to in your life.
Wow.
And I think that when you believe that in the love you can't see, nothing can stop you. And that's really helped me navigate the Comfort Club and figuring out what my voice can sound like in the world, because faith is such an important part of it. So the ability to share my personal faith, and in this Comfort Club, it's kind of just everyone gathering together, sharing a cup of coffee or whatever you want to bring to the meeting.
A cup of whatever. If it's after 5, it might be something different.
It's a virtual community gathering of the Together at Peace community. And we just kind of open up and share our hearts and our journeys and what we're, creating through memory moments. And I lead the discussion, but it's really a discussion between our, the people who are joining in our community. And I think it's a really unique space that's not really focused on therapy necessarily, but it's like a free space to go and hear stories and be inspired and see the love and be present and know that it hasn't left us, it's always there.
Wow. And then bringing together people that are maybe not in the same zone of where they are with their grief, but understanding that we all go through this.
Yeah, we all go through this and it's not going away, and acknowledging that it's okay and you're a new person, a different person, that you can't possibly go back to the old you, but you can actually navigate a new way of being together with your loved one in a new way.
Well, you are amazing. You're welcome for everybody streaming, because she is amazing on so many levels. And I feel like as a friend of our show, I've watched you grow so much with your voice and what you've done with Together at Peace. And as a show, we are championing you to keep going and changing the world, Christine. We're proud of you.
Thank you so much, Whitney. Thank you for being along with me, next to me, not letting me feel alone in my grief, and helping me share inspiration with the world.
I love it. Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Well, today we learned that even in life's toughest battles, light is always there and just ready to be seen. Remember, your story matters.